Good morning, kids. Or afternoon. Good afternoon. It is Friday, April 24th, 2026, 1:06 in the afternoon. And I've had a great week. Started off every day with my normal routines, right? Wake up, prayer, meditation, men's support group, work. But then on Wednesday, I had a chance to go to downtown Winnebago for what they call Warrior Red, which is a night at the old Winnebago school where they have the gym opened up and a whole bunch of games going on there, like basketball, volleyball, all sorts of stuff like that. And they have a bunch of special needs kids they bring in. So it's probably 30, 40 people in there in total. Most of them are kids that are what we call on the spectrum. Some of them have Down syndrome, some of them are autistic to some degree. It's just like 2 hours of running around playing with them, which is just a hoot. If you ever want to feel like you're really good at volleyball, go play with those kids. You'll feel like a god out there, but it's a lot of fun. And I'm just joking when I say that a little bit. I hope you kids know that. So, and then yesterday, Thursday, I had that 10K over lunch. And yesterday night, I started basically a Bible study group. Joined a Bible study group. It's going to be 90 minutes for the next 8 weeks, every Thursday night. So that was pretty cool. And the interesting thing, just maybe what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, and kind of where my head's been since last night, is one of the things this Bible study group talked about was, you hear people say a lot, well, the Bible says. Kind of like, well, end of story. The Bible says whatever. But here's the thing. If the Bible says it, is that the end of the story? Is that enough? A lot of things are in the Bible. But if you look into the history of it, the Bible is really just a collection of letters and stories. And they were not all written by the same person. They were not all written at the same time. And there's some different versions of the Bible. For instance, the one that I've been reading through is the New Revised Standard Version. You can find all sorts of different versions. And the versions vary in terms of which stories, what they call books, they include. So this one, for instance, has all of these different books, right? And sometimes what you find is the translations are different. But when we look at the New Testament in particular, and this is what I found interesting, you have the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're guys who lived and walked with Jesus. And they kind of recorded, especially I believe Matthew in particular wrote down everything he kind of saw and experienced. But then there's a guy named Saul, who later became, I believe, John. And he wrote a whole lot, but he never met Jesus. And a lot of the books of the New Testament are written long after Jesus died. So what my Bible study group was talking about last night was not just accepting it's in the Bible at face value, and understanding what the Bible is. And additionally, you're looking at, because this book did not exist when Jesus died. It took about 300 years, depending on how you count it, between 200 and 350 years after Jesus died, for this collection of stories to start to be assembled together. All these various writings, people writing down their memories of Jesus, people writing down their experiences. And I found that very interesting. So, your dad is continuing his journey of seeking God, seeking a better understanding of God, still doesn't understand him, but is at least getting to understand a little bit more of the history of this book that I've been reading. I find that very interesting. So I hope you kids in your Sunday church services, if or when you guys go, that you don't just take things at face value and say, well, if the Bible says so, therefore. And that you dig a little bit deeper and say, well, what part of the Bible? Well, who wrote that book? Well, what's that book about? Was that maybe written by somebody who knew Jesus, walked with Jesus? Was it maybe written by somebody who's just didn't know Jesus? And question some of those things. Because I think, for me at least, that helps me get a better understanding. So I think by further understanding, I think it helps draw me closer to a God of my understanding. So anyhow, I love you kids. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Get some good sports activities, have some fun with some friends. And I'll be doing the same down here at Bravo Zulu. Love you guys.